players left to right: Marshall Peugh, defensive end; Zach Zenner, running back; and Seth Daughters, tight end. Coach Stiegelmeyer will join us shortly. We will open for questions with the players.
Zach, what was the key to stopping Shakir Bell? What do you need to do to keep him under control? What did you do?
What did I do?
What did you guys do defensively?
Well, defensively, I mean, honestly, I was preparing against their defense, so I think Marshall should take that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not up my South Dakota State.
That's okay. No, that's okay. You're fine.
We just, did our jobs. Everybody up front, and the linebackers filled. Safeties came in and corners came in when they needed to too. So just everybody did their own job, filled their own gap, and we made plays.
Marshall, can you talk about the pressure you're able to put on around Indiana State's quarterback? Looks like they were just having a lot of difficulty protecting the edges today.
We just got after it. I mean, I think it was all around the other DN, Doug P. And the two inside guys, Hediger and Mink and Chase Douglas. I mean, we all, as a D-line, we all just got after it. Linebackers too. I mean, we really were just when we got chances to go out there and pin ears back and really get after them, we did. So really happy with our D-line linebackers, and also the coverages too. Our secondary helped us out there too. So it's all around effort.
Zach, your thoughts on the importance of this one?
Well, I mean, it's a conference opener, and we stressed that. We knew that, it was an important game. And that really speaks for itself, in my opinion, that it was a conference game. It was our conference opener.
More than the ranking and getting the third win and all that kind of stuff, the conference thing.
Definitely. I mean, conference play, I think Coach Stiggs mentioned this once, but there's an automatic bid to the Missouri Valley Football Conference. So conference play is really important.
Zach, can you talk about your 87-yard run? It looked like Indiana State maybe had the gap, and then there was a block, and you stepped over. Kind of describe that play from your standpoint.
Well, I mean, we had, I thought maybe we were having I was cutting back a decent amount on some of those inside runs, and I think Seth ended up getting the backside cut off on that one, and then it opened up. And then I ran out of gas.
You said that earlier in the week, though, that the tight ends on the backside, you think you believe that's the key to long runs?
That's definitely an important part. I mean, in order for long runs to happen, everyone needs to do their job. I mean, from the offensive line to the tight ends on the backside, or even, like a fullback, like Vince going up and taking on a backer, even to the receivers, they need to take up the guys that are over them so that those corners can't come in and make plays.
Zach, now that I figured out who you are, would you like to see an FCS player get consideration for the Heisman? Because you're putting up numbers that are pretty extraordinary.
I mean, really, I don't even know what to say about that, to be honest. I mean, I'm just glad that we won today, really. I mean, the numbers will maybe something cool to look back on, but right now, winning is the most important thing. So, I don't know, I guess if they decide to, that's cool. If not, that's fine with me too.
Seth, you guys got put in a tough spot. They got momentum on the fake punt as an offense. What did you guys talk about, or how did you kind of try and get things together again to sort of try and answer that score?
Just execute every play. Like we always talk, good teams come back out after a big play or a bad play, and they do what they execute what their game plan is. So we just said, come out, execute our game plan, keep the momentum in our favor, and I think that's what we did. We come out.
Marshall, Coach Stiegelmeyer talked this week, when asked about your guys' defense, that you guys are just good scheme-oriented, and he wasn't, he just likes the way you guys operate. What makes this scheme work today against Bell and the running game? Describe it from your standpoint. Why do you think this scheme works as well as it does?
I mean, we just, as I said, if everybody goes hard and fills a gap, and the scheme we have, then everything's shut down, and if we physically manhandle them, and I think we did today in the front, and then linebackers come in and make plays too. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, everybody does their gap, fill in, you try to physically beat them, and you're going to cut off cutback lanes, and end up making the plays, and stopping them for 2 or 3 yards of carry at the most.
So you usually hear about team defense in a basketball way, but it seems like maybe that's the way you guys work.
Yeah,
Football.
I mean-
It doesn't seem like there's one guy out there.
We, I mean, that's like one thing we do preach is we gotta have 11 hats on that jersey, you know, on that ball carrier. We gotta go, you know, and that it really helps because I mean, guys start flying in there, you know, start putting a pounding on them. You know, it's hard to get back up after that every play, and I think that really affected the running back and quarterback today. We kept getting after him, we kept hitting him hard, and we didn't slow down. So I think that's what happened.
Zach, that's 6 going back to last year. 6 FCS wins in a row. A lot of you guys are still young though. Did you have to learn how to win a little bit? Do you guys feel like you've kind of gotten that knack now from knowing what it takes, especially, and you played the last 2, especially been really tight games?
I would say, you know, you learn how to win, but when the wins, you know, start coming, I think you get more and more confidence, and you have that faith. I mean, you always have a faith that, you know, your teammates can get the job done. But then when you win and you see, you know, what trusting your teammates can really do, I think that trust builds even more. And then it just builds off of it.
Seth, talk about the pass game. You know, you basically doubled your yards on the 1 touchdown. It just hasn't been what you guys thought it was going to be. What's the biggest issue you think?
We just got to protect the quarterback. We get a few sacks a day, and that's the main thing we're preaching. We're going to work on. Protect the quarterback. You know, everybody getting open and running their routes to the right depth, and just putting stress into the pass game can help us on the run game as well, and vice versa. So we just got to keep focusing on protecting the summer, so we got our receivers open, tight ends, and go from there.
Seth, you were here. You're one of the few guys that was here last time you guys played here. You looked like you were going to make a run, and then you came here and fell flat. Any motivation or thoughts about just that experience now coming back and having an opportunity to kind of get a big win?
I mean, you think about it a little bit, but you don't dwell on it. That's for sure. I mean, we got to go 1-0 each week with this team this year. So, I mean, it's for the guys that were here. I mean, it's something that we think about. And I mean, we just prepared to come out and do what we had to do this year. So, I mean, a little bit, but.
Any other questions for the players?